Hey, got some good news for you. We've been analysing the pace compared to our rivals, and it looks like we'll be very competitive. Keep up the good work.
Hello everyone and welcome to F1 2016 Career Mode. We're here in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. This is episode number 34 of the entire Career Mode. We're here for, is it round 12 of this the 2017 season here on F1 2016. As you can see, Force India, they're now the third quickest team in this Career Mode. They've brought some massive updates right after the summer break. And as you can see, Renault have bought a couple as well because, of course, they're yet to score a point this season as well. And it means now that we've got quite a juicy midfield battle behind us and Ferrari, with Force India, Mercedes and Williams all pretty much on the same level of performance, which means that in the scrappy races, we've now pretty much got 5 teams that are capable of winning races now, which is absolutely incredible. While we're trying to bring our car back into the rest of the pack by not upgrading it to try and help us win this World Championship against our teammate Daniel Ricciardo. If you did miss the last episode, go check it out. There'll be a card in the top right hand corner. This is what happened in FP1, literally our second lap, and we binned it quite spectacularly over the top of Radion. Got a swapper on as we hit the curb, and while doing the track acclimatisation test, and damaged the tyre barrier, took the front right wheel off the car, and that was FP1 over before it had even begun, and quite a hefty impact. And I'm sure Christian Horner was not impressed with that. Maybe we've come back from the summer break a little bit rusty, too much time partying in the off season. Here are the resource points from practice. We did manage to get a bit more running in FP2 and FP3, which was good. Here are our qualifying goals.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
And our qualifying goals, same as they usually are, finish second and beat Daniel Ricciardo. What can we do in qualifying then? Because the car, it's hard to get a representative view in practice because we crashed in FP1, it rained in FP3, and we did a long run in FP2. So we don't really know where the car is in terms of performance. So I'm going to send you over to Crofty now for qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix.
It's qualifying time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted.
Here we are then at back in qualifying one. We're right on the start of our. We haven't even started the lap. We're just making some space on our outlap before we put the hammer to the max through the bus stop chicane, open the DRS. I'm going to start our lap here in qualifying one. And hopefully this will be the start of a good qualifying for us, as we turned in early to La Source and we've taken the front right tyre off the car, and we are out of qualifying before it had even begun. On our very first lap in qualifying, we've just made a mistake into La Source, turned in just a fraction too early and taken the front right off the car, and we are out of qualifying. We will start the Belgian Grand Prix from stone dead last. Yeah, underachieved by 20 positions as well. Not good. This is going to harm our resource points. It's going to harm us in the rivalry. It's going to harm us in the driver position. It's not been the best of starts to this Belgian Grand Prix weekend. In terms of having disastrous and bad weekends, we are well on the way to having one of them at the moment. It's not gone to plan so far. We're losing the rivalry, not as bad as I expected to be honest, but it's still not gone to plan, and the driver position has suffered ever so slightly because of it, which isn't good. And we've now got a task on our hands. We have no idea how quick the car is, apart from on a long run, which I suppose is the most important thing then, as we're about to get our race goals any second now.
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
As I was saying, 7th, beat Ricciardo, 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. It's going to be a tough weekend, which is a shame really, but at least we've done a long run and we know roughly how good the pace is going to be. Don't know what the strategy is going to be. It's going to be quite an interesting race, and starting from the back, we can only hope to move forward. And it's damage limitation for us now against Daniel Ricciardo. So I'm now going to send you to the commentary box with Ashley Gregory for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome to Belgium for the 13th round of the 2017 Formula One season. Today we are situated in the Ardennes Forest, where the weather can change as quickly as a pit stop. It can only be Spa-Francorchamps. 94 miles from Belgium's capital, Brussels, Spa is a legendary track not just on the Formula 1 calendar, but in all of motorsport. First appearing in 1950 when Argentina's 5-time world champion Juan Manuel Fangio won for Alfa Romeo. The legendary Michael Schumacher is the most successful F1 driver in the Belgian Grand Prix with 6 race wins. Out of the current crop of drivers, Kimi Räikkönen is the master of Spa with 4 victories. Following an interesting qualifying session yesterday, Nico Hülkenberg took his first pole position since 2010 and Force India's first since 2009 at this very track. It was the first non-Red Bull pole of the year. Another surprise came when in Q1 the world champion Callum Byrne crashed at La Source. He will start from last. After a string of poor results for Byrne's teammate Daniel Ricciardo, today is surely a day where he can swing the fate of this year's title back into his own hands. With Ferrari, Mercedes, Williams and Force India all close to the championship leaders here in Belgium. Today might be a nervous day for the Red Bull pit wall.
Okay, don't worry about making places into one, it's far too tight. Concentrate on a clean exit so you get good momentum down the Camel Straight.
So to the grid, and it was Nico Hülkenberg who took his first pole for nearly 7 years, and he is joined on the front row by the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. Kimi Räikkönen is the highest placed Ferrari in 3rd, alongside Felipe Massa's Williams in 4th. The second Force India of Sergio Perez shares the 3rd row with the lead Mercedes of Nico Rosberg. Valtteri Bottas will start from 7th ahead of last year's winner Lewis Hamilton in 8th. Daniel Kvyat shares the 5th row with Roman Grosjean for Toro Rosso and Haas, both in need of an upturn in form. Carlos Sainz lines up 11th alongside Sebastian Vettel in 12th, who received a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Pascal Wehrlein in FP1. Esteban Gutierrez's Haas leads Jenson Button's McLaren as they line up alongside each other for the 2nd race in a row. Rio Haryanto will start from 15th alongside a bitterly disappointed Fernando Alonso in 16th. It's an all-Renault 9th row with Kevin Magnussen leading his teammate Jolyon Palmer in 17th and 18th. It was another poor qualifying for Pascal Wehrlein, who takes up 19th on the grid ahead of the struggling Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. And on the back row of the grid, Felipe Nasser lines up alongside the World Championship leader Callum Byrne, who crashed in qualifying yesterday and is a huge 20 places down on his teammate and championship rival Daniel Ricciardo. Now for in-race commentary with Callum Byrne, I've been Ashley Gregory. Goodbye.
Here we are then, on the grid of the Belgian Grand Prix. Strategy is going to be a 1-stop by the looks of it, going from the soft tyres to the medium compound tyres. We could do a 2-stop, going super soft, soft, soft. We're going to take a bit of fuel out of the car as well, just to make it a bit lighter at the start. But it looks like we're going to try the 1-stop and just see how it goes. We've got plenty of fresh tyres for this race, so why not? What's the worst that can happen is the formation that gets underway, and it's actually quite a surreal feeling to be the last car, and you can see the cars, the leaders going off on the formation up, and you're just sat on the grid. Quite a weird feeling, but we just took the formation up at our own pace as we usually do. We weren't holding up any cars for once either, which was quite a strange feeling as well. It meant that these cars have been sat on the grid for a good 30 seconds or so before we finally pull up to our grid slot. Not much time to wait because we're getting straight underway. 3, 4, now 5 red lights here in Spa, and away we go. And it's been a decent launch on the soft compound tyre, quicker than Felipe Nasr anyway. But we're kind of stuck in a sandwich with nowhere to go, so we're going to brake early. Now push the accelerator down and brake late now into La Source, and we get up the inside of Jenson Button. He's made contact with a Ferrari there of Sebastian Vettel. There's contact with us as well. We've moved up into P13 though, so that tactic into turn 1 has actually worked quite nicely as there's cars going side by side up Eau Rouge and through Raidillon. We're trying to catch them as we have a moment over the top of Raidillon, and I think there's a yellow flag now down by the base of Eau Rouge, so we'll see what's happened in a minute. But it looks like there's some cars going side by side up and towards Les Combes. Here's a replay of the start. Nico Hülkenberg in the Force India, brilliant job in qualifying. He started on pole, and we're going to see us just brake and then floor the throttle just to get up the inside of a load of these cars who pinched themselves into turn 1, and it actually paid off quite nicely. It looks like Sebastian Vettel, that 5-place grid penalty that he picked up in FP1 has cost him quite badly as he's battling with Jenson Button. As here's the replay with Daniel Ricciardo, who tried it around the outside of Hülkenberg into La Source, kind of gets shoved out of the way and has to concede that position. Here's Nico Rosberg's point of view in that Mercedes. pretty alright qualifying from Rosberg, although he has lost out to a force injury or so in qualifying. But as you can see, he makes contact with Massa, and that could have easily been a massive accident, especially with Perez alongside him in the background, who's going to mug him off down the hill on the run towards Eau Rouge. And even the Williams of Valtteri Bottas is going to do that as well. And they make contact up the top of Eau Rouge through Radion. Brave and ballsy stuff from the pair of them. As look at this, they're going 3-4 wide here at the back of the pack. This was just behind us. We're about to head up Eau Rouge now. It looks like the two Manners are getting very close up Eau Rouge, and they make contact. In fact, Verline and Arianto. Verline runs wide, hits the Sauber of Ericsson, and it was Ericsson who was in the wall, but he is still in this race and only got a damaged front wing as we rejoin the live action. Still on lap 1, just a couple of corners later. We're behind Esteban Gutierrez in the Haas. We go up the inside of him and Carlos Sainz in that Toro Rosso, and now we're trying to find a way around the outside of Grosjean in the other Haas. But it looks like we've definitely had a good start. We've gained places. It's what we need to do, and we're not too far away from the leaders. And it's been a positive first lap as into Pouhon we go. We try a bit of a different line to try and find a way around Grosjean. If anything, we lose a little bit of time as we try and chase down the Frenchman who's got Daniel Kvyat just in front of him now, as we're just heading through La Frania. My French in Belgian isn't very good. You have to bear with me, as we're now still sit behind the Haas as we head towards Stavelot through the right-hander. We're going to try and not run wide through the dirt. Yeah, we got a phenomenal exit now. We're going to try and keep it in the track limits as we go around the outside. We're even going to mug off Daniel Kvyat as well as we head towards Blanchimont, and we are through and up into 9th place, as now at the start of the second lap we're trying a diving manoeuvre up the inside of Nico Rosberg into La Source, and we have got him, and after just a lap and a corner we've gone from last to 8th, showing the pure pace we've got in this Red Bull. Currently Kimi Raikkonen leads this race as the two Williams are going side by side up Eau Rouge. That's going to end in disaster for Felipe Massa and for us as we break our front wing on the back of Lewis Hamilton. Massa though somehow still in the race. He's had a massive accident with his teammate at the top of Eau Rouge and through Radion, as we're now defending from Nico Rosberg down into Le Combe. We're going to get a replay of that in a minute. That was a huge accident, as here's the replay of us getting past Grosjean and Kvyat. Nice move, mugged off the Toro Rosso. Nice and easy as you like, as here's the replay then of us getting up the inside of Nico Rosberg. Just left the door open and there was just a Red Bull sized gap for us to take. But here's where the incident happened. Bottas trying to go round Massa up Eau Rouge, and there's contact between the two of them, and Massa somehow only loses his front wing in that crash. Hamilton makes contact with the Williams at the base of it, and it just looks like the wheels have interlocked between the two Williams. Team radio.
I lost something on the front. I lost the front wing. Okay, we're ready for you. Box now, box now.
And somehow Felipe Massa's only lost his front wing, but Hamilton, in slowing down quite, just yanked on the anchors to avoid getting collected in that accident, caught us out, and we lost a huge chunk of our front wing on the left-hand side. We've lost the end plate and the end fence. It's virtually just a plank on the left-hand side, but we're not going to pick to change it because we're just going to lose too much time otherwise. We're just going to have to brave it as we're now chasing down Nico Hülkenberg, who's lost out to Lewis Hamilton here on lap 3. We're trying to get the cut back through Pouhon we go. We've been squeezed onto the grass as through La Faragna we go. We can't manage to get past the Force India, which started on pole position. Get Hülkenberg down to 6th as we now go up the inside into the right-hander. We just about keep it in the track limits and we get past Nico Hülkenberg and demote him down to 7th. And it's been an awful first 3 laps for the German and the 2015 Le Mans winner, as we're now getting to a point where the leaders who started on the super soft compound tyre are coming into the pit, and we're going to move up into 4th place now as we just try to burn a bit of fuel, keep the tyres in check, as well as now on the next lap our teammate Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas, Raikkonen, they're all into the pit lane as well, and we will take the net lead of this race. And bear in mind, they've still got a pit stop to do, and we do as well, so we are technically in a legitimate lead as now Marcus Ericsson is out of the race on lap 8. He's had a pretty dismal afternoon as his engine has let go through Rivage, and not a good day for Marcus Ericsson as we're running wide through Stavelot and somehow have kept all 4 wheels on our car. Massive brush with the barrier as these tyres have really seen better days, and we're now being caught by Daniel Ricciardo. We are going to pit on this lap, but we're just struggling for pace at the moment. I had a problem, in fact, after I came out of the replay camera to get Marcus Ericsson's engine failure. The car started feeling very different, especially on the handling side. It became very understeery, and the steering became very heavy. And you can really tell that I'm just not as comfortable with the car And I wondered if it was down to tyre wear, so we're just going to pit. We're not going to change the front wing as into the pit lane. We come slowing it down to just 50 mile an hour. And we're keeping the front wing, which you can see on there, is actually really badly damaged. Just because we thought we'd lose too much time, and we are trying to keep the net lead of the race here with this bit of an undercut on Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Bottas and co. And where are we going to rejoin? I think Carlos Sainz, who also started on the soft compound tyre, is following us into the pit lane as through the tight and narrow pit exit we go. We've been jumped by Sebastian Vettel in that Ferrari as well. Vettel, who of course that 5th-place grid penalty dropped him down the field, and he hasn't really made up too many positions, is now on lap 11. We've just come out the pit lane and we're trying to find a way past Sebastian Vettel. Up the inside we try, and we just about squeeze through. But as we go down as we're on the run down to Pouhon, good move on Sebastian Vettel. Sort of caught him napping there. As you can see, we just had so much more speed, so much more grip than Vettel, the 4-time world champion. We just forced a gap. And to be fair to Vettel, he did leave us the space, and we managed to just about get past him, and now we're trying to get past Jenson Button in that McLaren Honda. And see what we can do as now through Stavelot we go. We're again being a bit more conscious of running wide. Vettel in the mirrors is hunting us down. He's gaining on us in the slipstream, but all the time we're gaining on Jenson Button, and the only thing we can do is put cars between us and Sebastian Vettel, and we ease past the McLaren up the inside into Blanchimont, run a bit wide on the exit. I think Sebastian Vettel is going to try and capitalise on that manoeuvre as well. Into the bus stop chicane we go as we come to conclude lap 11, as here's the replay from Sebastian Vettel's point of view. You can see that the gap was there, that McLaren very slow in a straight line, and we just said thank you very much, although we did understeer off the track, and we didn't give the position back because we would have passed him anyway. We didn't gain anything anyway as Vettel gets past Jenson Button, and they both head for the pit lane in fact, and they've crashed in the pit entry because on a single file pit entry, what do? They go side by side, as now we've got a yellow flag up in Le Combe. Here's why. Raikkonen and Bottas, the two Finns, going side by side into Le Combe. Bottas around the outside makes contact with Raikkonen, who half spins into the wall. We're now catching up Raikkonen, who's managed to turn the car around, and he's got going. And are we going to try and capitalise and get past Raikkonen? Of course, he's still got a pit again anyway, but it turns out he just sodded off into the distance. And we couldn't catch him, as now Daniel Ricciardo is pitting. This is important because we're going to find out whether we still have the net lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. As down into the bus stop chicane we go. I believe Raikkonen is going to go into the pit lane as well. Yes, he does. You see we're taking a lot of curve, trying to extract as much time from this circuit as we can, as through the final corner we go to start lap 15. And it looks like Ricciardo has already exited the pit lane, and it is looking like we are going to have to just settle for second place if we want to try and win. If that's the best we're going to get, as we've now lost Fernando Alonso from this race on the same lap. We've got a virtual safety car because of that. What's happened to Fernando Alonso? It looks like it's going to be another engine failure. Yes, it is. The Honda engine lets go, and Fernando Alonso will not finish this Belgian Grand Prix as the virtual safety car now ends as we start lap 16. And cut one lap later, we're under pressure now. From Sergio Perez through Blanchimont we go. He has the inside line. He's trying to Max Verstappen us in a way. We've run wide, trying to hang it around the outside. Perez has the outside line for the bus stop chicane. We hold the inside line, run the car a little bit deep to chop him off, and hold on to second place here as we end lap 17, start lap 17. We've got a bit of a train behind us, as now on lap 18. Perez going to have a go down the Kemmel straight, down in towards Le Combe. We hold the inside line. There's contact, wheel-to-wheel contact with Perez. He throws the hand up in frustration, as now through, we go through the right-hander. Perez moves up into second place. We flick to the inside, brake later, we barge him, bash side pods with the Force India as we try and force Perez out of the way. It looks like we've got the high ground now into the left-hander. Perez, though, dives it up the inside. We get the cutback, get much better traction through No Name, as now we try and run down towards Pouhon. We have the inside line. This is going to be ballsy, but we make it work. We hold the inside line and retake second place away from the Mexican. And we really have got a job on our hands to hold this guy off. As you can see on the replay camera, nice switchback manoeuvre from the pair of us, as we just about have the run and the high ground into Pouhon, and we force Perez out of the way, who's now under pressure from Valtteri Bottas. As now we come through Stavelot again, we run very wide onto the curb, and Perez all over the back of us, doesn't know which way to go, and he's shoved us onto the grass. Perez literally barges us out of the way, and we drop 3 positions as Bottas and Rosberg find a way through, as we're trying to find a way past. We've run wide. taking too much curb, trying to take too much speed, and we're now diving it into the bus stop chicane. Hamilton has left a gap, and we've somehow forced a manoeuvre, forced a gap past Lewis Hamilton. Bottas has gone though, Perez has gone. We're not catching them. We're now battling for 4th place with Lewis Hamilton, and any chances of a podium have gone thanks to Sergio Perez, who I must tell you did not get a penalty for literally shoving us out of the way as we get back past Lewis Hamilton into La Source. And here's the replay of it. Perez literally just runs into the back of us and weaves his wheel and shoves us into a wall. As you can see from Valtteri Bottas' point of view, who's the big benefactor from this because he managed to get past the pair of us. Great reactions from Valtteri Bottas, who moves up into 2nd place as we're now holding up Lewis Hamilton. An absolute treat as we come through Stavelot now on the run down towards Blanchimont. He's forced the inside line as we head towards Blanchimont. We're going to have to try and brave it around the outside. Hamilton has the better flowing run. We run wide again through the exit of Blanchimont. We have the inside line just about for the bus stop chicane, and we again retake 4th place from Lewis Hamilton and move up past the Brit as we are now starting lap 20 with just a couple of laps to go up the top of Eau Rouge. Just a couple of corners later, Hamilton will be in the DRS zone. We've got it in rich mix. We defend the inside line for what it's worth. Hamilton though, even without the slipstream, with that DRS and Mercedes power pack, powers past us up into Le Combe and goes around the outside of us into Le Combe. We try the switchback manoeuvre, cut the corner slightly as we now hang it around the outside of the final part of Le Combe. We can't quite hang it and we have to concede 4th place. We again look to the inside for Rivage, but Hamilton is too far ahead and we have now fallen down to 5th place in this Belgian Grand Prix. And we are sinking like a stone with 5 laps to go. We were in 2nd. We're now all the way down to 5th place. As now there's a yellow flag behind us for some reason. I think Hulkenberg got put in a wall by Kimi Räikkönen as we're now defending from Nico Rosberg and Räikkönen and Hulkenberg into the bus stop chicane. We come again, and we do manage to hang on as we now on the start of lap 21. Rosberg though has got up the inside into the source. We're putting the frighteners on, pushing him towards the support pit lane, and he has to back out of it, but he's still all over the back of us, swarming like a pack of wolves right behind us, swarming like bees as we come up the Kemmel Straight again. Rosberg, we're on the grass trying to hold the inside line as Rosberg doesn't know which way to go. This time we're trying the outside line. Look at Kimi Räikkönen with the slipstream. Is he going to get past Nico Rosberg into Le Combe? The two of them are battling, and he does get past the German in the Mercedes. And now we're on the final lap of this race, just trying to hang on as into Pouhon we go. We've just touched the grass side. We've run out wide onto the exit curb. We've kept our foot floored, and Kimi Räikkönen is going to steal 5th place into La Ferragna, and we have lost out to 5th place to Kimi Räikkönen, and now we've got Nico Rosberg all over the back of us. Hulkenberg pitted after being put in a wall by the Ferrari, but you can just see we got on the exit curb, ran wide, and Räikkönen couldn't believe his luck. He's up into 5th place. We have dropped down to 6th, and we've now got an angry Nico Rosberg all over the back of us, desperate to get past us as we're now trying to do all we can to defend from Rosberg now as we head down towards Blanchimont. He's on the outside trying to Max Verstappen as Ricciardo has won the race in all of this. We've defended from Nico Rosberg, who's still all over the back of us. We're going to hold the inside line into the bus stop chicane for the final time, run him out of road, chop him off. We're not going to concede any more positions. Räikkönen will finish 5th. We've recovered from last to 6th place.
Thanks, guys. That's really cool. Wow.
That was brilliant, mate. I think we can see a smile from here. Nice job.
let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
For me, the Red Bull driver was the class of the field today. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony Davidson. It's not very often we do get driver of the day, although it doesn't feel like we deserve it really, given how many places we lost in the closing laps. One stop just didn't quite work out for us. We just didn't have the pace to really make it work. The tyre wear was fine. We just didn't have that raw speed to make it work. And 6th place is where we finished in the end. But having said that, if we'd have taken it at the start of this race, I think we would have taken 6th place, although it is disappointing to lose a podium at the end. And we have lost quite a few points to our teammate in the championship battle as well. But Ricciardo won from Bottas, Perez, Hamilton, Raikkonen and ourselves. Then it was Rosberg, and I think Grosjean and Sainz got in the back end of the points. Sainz as well did a one-stop. Our championship lead has been cut down to 24 points. That does mean if Ricciardo wins in Italy and we do not finish, Ricciardo will take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So we've lost that bit of buffer we had. Vettel had been clawing himself back into the title fight, and in one race he's took himself back out of it again. It's once again a 2-horse race, as our lead in the Constructors' Championship is still pretty good. Mercedes, a great weekend for them, have closed the gap to Ferrari quite nicely, and we've got a battle developing there. Force India now have a quicker car than Williams, and they're now even further ahead of them in the Constructors' Championship as well. Not good for them, as well as Renault. They bought parts and they still haven't got anywhere near the points. Resource points, we're going to get maybe 3,000. That might be a push. No, 2,899. Rivalry, we didn't beat Ricciardo. We didn't have good pace either, although we were quicker in a couple of sectors. Middle sector is where we were losing out all weekend, really, and it's what cost us in the end. It cost us that place to Raikkonen through Puon. Driver position, though, is good because we passed 2 of the objectives out of the 3, so we are almost back up into the purple, which is just what we want to see. We're not going to get fired anytime soon. Career score, here we go. If you want to compare, contrast with your own at home. Quite a decent career score, I say. But guys, thank you very much for watching again. What a crazy Belgian Grand Prix. We now head to Monza, the Temple of Speed, the holy land of Formula 1, for the fastest circuit of the year. As you saw this weekend, Ricciardo did win quite comfortably in the end, but in the early part of the race, we weren't really that quick. Force India, Mercedes, Williams, all cars, 3 cars which are really quick in a straight line. And I tell you what, Monza is not going to be an easy race win for Red Bull Racing. We're going to come back fighting. That's our run of podiums has come to an end, sadly, and it's right at the start of the second phase of this season. We're over halfway through this season, so guys, I will see you in Monza. Until next time, I'll see you around. Goodbye.